Hello and welcome to this class of urban governance. This is for BA third year, semester 6 public administration. So today we are going to discuss about the urban governance. Uh, so a brief introduction about me. I am Pankaj Kumar, a PhD scholar in public administration department. So today I am going to uh, familiarize you regarding this urban governance topic. Okay. So before that, first thing first, let us first have a brief outline about the content of this course and what we are going to discuss today. Okay. So this entire course of urban governance, it is divided into five blocks, five different blocks, and like block one. Uh, in block one, we will read about urbanization and overview. So block one consists of three units: unit one, two, and three. In unit one, again, we'll study about urban concept. Unit two, urbanization trends at global, national, and state level. Then Unit 3, which is part of Block 1. Here we'll study about the Constitution 74th Amendment Act of 1992. Then again in Block 2, uh, which is under the theme of governance and institutions. Here again we will cover another three units. Unit 4, 5, and 6, urban governance, urban local bodies, administrative organizations, and staffing. Then Block 3, Uh, here we'll discuss about urban development under three different units, unit 7, 8, and 9, where we'll study about urban development programs, urban services, urban poverty. Then block 4, again, finances and planning. Here again, we'll cover two different units, unit 10 and 9. Unit 10, municipal finances, then urban planning and building regulations. Then the last block of this course, uh, here we'll cover urban futures, like future urbanization, and what are their challenges and what are the issues being faced by urbanization. So in this block, we'll again cover three different units: municipal accountability, e-governance, and then sustainable urban development and future of cities. Okay. So now first thing first, let us go into block one, that is urbanization and overview. So here in this block one, that is urbanization and overview, there are three different units: unit 1, 2, and 3, as I already told you. So in unit 1, that is urban concept, we'll get familiar with the concept of what is urban, what is the meaning of urbanization, what are the characteristics and drivers of urbanization. Characteristics means what are the features of urbanization, and driver means drivers of urbanization means what are the factors which lead to urbanization. Okay. Then there are some important terminology related to urban studies, which we'll also cover. Then coming back to Unit 2, here I'm going to describe you the global trends of urbanization in India and Telangana. Then the concept of migration is also introduced in this unit. Then coming back to Unit 3, so here we will study about the constitutional uh, Act of 1992, which is 74th Amendment Act of 1992. Okay. Apart from that, we'll also go through what are some features of Telangana Municipalities Act 2019 and also the role of the state finance commissions. Okay. We'll discuss that also. So coming first to this urban concept, what is the objectives, the urban concept, that is unit 1. So today we will cover this unit, that is unit 1, where we'll study about what are the objectives of this unit. Then we'll have a brief introduction about what we are going to cover. Then what is urban and urbanization, the meaning and definition of urbanization by different thinkers, that also we'll cover. Then after that, we'll also go into the drivers of urbanization. Here we will study what are the factors which lead to urbanization, like what causes urbanization. So there are different factors like social factors, economic factors, and even all these factors can also be categorized or classified into two factors, that is pull factor and push factors. So we will go into detail of what these are. Then after that, we'll discuss about characteristics of urbanization. What are some characteristics of urbanization means? What are the features of urbanization? What are some spatial features which are found in urban areas? Then we'll also discuss about advantages and disadvantages of urbanization, like what are the some pros and cons. Then there are some terminology related to urbanization that we'll cover. Okay. Then coming to this objective of this unit is to enable the student to understand the concept of urban and urbanization, then definition of urban, characteristics of urbanization, then advantage and disadvantage. I think this I already explained. So coming back to what is urban. So the definition of urban, it basically changes from country to country. Like in different countries, in Australia, what is urban is slightly different from what is urban in Japan. What is urban in India? So we'll have some definition about like country specific definition about what is urban. But on a broader term, it can be said that this term is explained in terms of generally demographics. Demographics means population. Okay. So there are some criteria like land use, density, yeah, population density, then employment, etc., which are also used to define an urban area. So there is one thinker, very famous thinker called Thomson Warren. So Thomson Warren, he has defined urban as the people, movement of people from centers concerned chiefly or solely with agriculture to others, like movement of people from centers or areas where agriculture is a main activity to different areas. Okay. Then there is another thinker called Anderson. So according to Anderson, urban is not a like one way process. Anderson considers urban as a two-way process. So how it is two-way process? What he believes is that urban involves not only movement from like village to cities and changes from agriculture to some other economic activities like business, trade, services, professions, etc. But why it is two-way process? Because here urban also involved change in the migrants' attitude, beliefs, values, and behavioral patterns. This is very, very important because the people who are migrating as a part of urbanization from rural areas, from villages to cities or town, it's not only urbanization is not only limited to their movement. What urbanization is doing, what urbanization is also doing, that it is also influencing the change in the attitude of migrants, their beliefs, their values, and their behavioral patterns. Okay, so we'll discuss this in detail, how these attitudes, beliefs, and values and behavior are changing as part of urbanization. Okay, then like I told you that the definition of urbanization is contextually context specific. It means there are different meaning of urbanization in different countries. For example, in Australia, areas of urban development with population of 200 or more people identified using dwelling and population density criteria of 2016 census data. So this is a definition of urban in Australia. Then in Japan, it is 50,000 or more population with 60% or more houses located in the main built up areas and 60% or more population engaged in manufacturing, trade, and similar urban occupation. Okay. So this is a definition of urban in Japan. Then In UK, United Kingdom, built up areas of 10,000 or more inhabitants. Okay. In Japan, it is 50,000 or more population with 60% houses located in main built up areas. Then in Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania, it is 16 gazetted or notified township comes under urbanization, definition of urbanization. Then in US, United States of America, agglomerations of 2,500 or more inhabitants with a population density of 1,000 persons or more per square kilometer. Okay, population density of 1,000 persons or more per square kilometer. So there are two categories of urban areas, like urban areas with 50,000 or more inhabitants and urban clusters with population of 2,500 and less than 50,000. Okay. Then next is in India. The urban area definition, it is basically defined by the census 1971. So according to census of 1971, uh, these are the criteria for urban. Number one, all places with a municipal corporation, municipal council, nagar panchayat, cantonment board, notified area committee, town committee, etc. So all these uh, places, they come under definition of urban area. Then there is another criteria, that is all other places which satisfy the following criteria. These three criteria are very, very important. Number one, a minimum population of 5,000. So an urban areas has to have a minimum population of 5,000 people. Okay. Then second criteria is at least 75% of the male working population should be non-agriculture. It means 75% of the male, it's not female. Okay, just be very, very careful. 75% of the male working population should be involved in non-agricultural activities. Okay, so what can be non-agricultural activities? Like manufacturing, services, etc. Okay. Then the third criteria is a population density of at least 400 square kilometer. Okay, so do you remember what is the criteria in United States? Population density of 1,000 persons or more per square kilometer. Okay, and here in India, it's a 4,000 square kilometer. 4,000, sorry, it's at least 400 per square kilometer. So it means 400 people should be residing within a per square kilometer of the area. Okay, so this is population density. Number one is minimum population 5,000. Number two is at least 75% of the male working population should be involved in non-agriculture activities. Third is population density of at least 400 per square kilometer. Okay, so these are the three criterias. Then coming to definition of urbanization and meaning and definition of urbanization. So urbanization is considered a process of people moving from rural to urban areas, towns and cities. This is a very simple and popular definition. Then urbanization, in other way, it also refers to the process by which a growing proportion of a population, a growing proportion of a population comes to live in cities and other urban areas, and the ways in which this affects society and the environment. So this is a very comprehensive definition, and it is a global phenomena. Like urbanization is not limited to some specific country or some specific region of the world. Okay, so that has been it has been basically driven by different factors that I'll go into detail. We'll discuss in detail, like economic factors, economic development, technological change, population growth, social factors, And there are several other factors which we'll discuss in detail. Then coming to India, in India, urbanization has been a rapidly growing trend in recent decades. Like in 2023, according to United Nations, this population prospects, India has become now the most populous country in the world, surpassing China. So the population of India's cities and towns, they has been increasing faster than the urban population. So this is a very unique trend of India, that our urban population is increasing much faster than rural population. Then urbanization, it also refers to the population shift from rural settlements where agriculture is the dominant economic activity to urban settlements where industrial, commercial, and service activities dominate. Okay, so this is also a part of the definition, that 75% people, 75% of the male should be working in non-agriculture activities. Okay, so here basically the population is shifting from rural settlement to urban settlement, and they are also involved into non-agriculture activities like industrial activities, commercial activities, manufacturing activities, service activities. They are the activities which dominate in the urban areas. Okay. Then urbanization is like common occurrence globally. I told you that urbanization is a global phenomena, and both in the developed and developing countries, this is prevalent, and it is like increasing. So this is a very important fact which you should keep in mind, that according to 2011 census of India, the urban population in India was about 31.2% of total population. Okay. And what is the projection? The projection is that by 2030, our urban population will be around 40% of the total population. So this is projection. By this projection, you can imagine like how rapidly urbanization is increasing in India, in our country. Okay. Then this we discussed. Now coming to drivers of urbanization. What do you mean by drivers of urbanization? Drivers of urbanization means these are the factors which causes urbanization. Okay. So what are these factors? Number one, growth of industries in urban areas. So what will happen when there will be growth of industries in urban areas? So there will arise demand for labor, you know, because for economic activities, like labor is one of the four important factors of production, right? Labor, land, capital, entrepreneurship, right? So that's why with the growth of industries in urban areas, there would be demand for labor. So what will happen when there will be increasing demand for labor? People will move out of the rural areas or rural settlement to meet those demand, and there will also be creation of employment, right? So people, as we already know, that people living in agriculture areas, they are already facing disguised unemployment. What is disguised employment or disguised unemployment? Like there is surplus labor in rural areas. What does it mean? It means like more than required people are involved into agriculture activities. This means that even if we remove some of the people from agriculture activities, still there won't be any impact on productivity of the agriculture. So this is called surplus of labor in agriculture activities, or surplus of labor in rural areas. So this is the number one factor, that growth of industries in urban areas, which is causing increased demand of labor. And in order to meet those demand, people are moving out of rural areas to urban areas, which is causing urbanization. Number two is inability of rural areas to absorb growing population. Yeah, as I told you that there is already surplus labor in rural areas. It means there are a lot of unemployment in rural areas. People are not getting jobs in rural areas. There is lack of economic activities which can provide employment to people, which can employ our workforce in rural areas. So this is also like inability of rural areas. So this can be called a number one. If you just closely monitor or closely try to understand this growth of industries in urban areas, this can be called a pull factor. Why it can be called pull factor? Because this is pulling people away from rural areas. Okay. Number two, if you look at the number two driver, that is inability of rural areas to absorb growing population. What does it mean? It means that rural areas, they are facing lack of or lack of economic activities to absorb growing population in the rural areas. So this in a way can be called push factor. Like this is pushing rural people away from rural areas, because rural areas, they are unable to absorb growing population. Okay. Then the third factor is called better and increased employment opportunities. Where? In urban areas. Better and increased employment opportunities in urban areas. So what is this? Is this pull factor or push factor? This is a pull factor, right? Then desire to have better standard of life. The desire to have better standard of life in people. This is also a pull factor. This desire is pulling people to urban areas from rural areas. Okay. Then search for social mobility and fortune. This is also a pull factor. Why this is a pull factor? Because people, you must have observed that compared to rural areas, uh, there is more social mobility in urban areas. Why it is so? Because there are some social constraints or social issues like caste and gender discrimination, which is more prevalent in rural areas. So in urban areas, these gender and caste identities are diluted. So after dilution of this social this social identity like gender and caste, what will happen? There will be more social mobility in urban areas, right? I hope you are able to understand. Then this can be also called a pull factor, because people are searching for social mobility. In rural areas, like caste and gender discrimination is still prevalent, though it has been reduced compared to what it was before independence. So after independence or post independence, there have been a lot of reforms. So as part of political, social, and economic reforms, which have certainly diluted this rigidity of caste and gender in our hitherto patriarchal, or you can say casteist society. But still, we can say that it is prevalent there. Despite of lot of transformation, still these issues are prevalent there. So people looking for, or people who are in search for faster social mobility and fortune, they also try to move away from rural areas. Okay. So this is another pull factor. Next comes increase in educational and health facilities in urban areas. So this is also a pull factor in urban areas. I don't think I need to explain, like these words are self-explanatory here. Then comes better services, etc. in urban areas. They are also considered as the root causes of urbanization. Okay. Now all these factors can be categorized into pull and push factors, as I told you. Okay. Now we'll try to look into all these reasons in some organized way in our next slide. Okay. So these drivers of urbanization, these can be better organized in such way, like economic factors, social factors, political factors, environmental factors, infrastructure development, demographic factors. Okay. Now I'll just quickly go into explanation part. Like, what are the economic factors which drive urbanization? Like urban areas, they offer more job opportunities and higher wages. Okay. For example, growth of IT industry in cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad. So it has led to an influx of people seeking employment in this sector. Okay. Okay. So economic factor, hope this is clear. Then comes social factor. Urban areas offer a wide range of social and cultural opportunities. For example, access to quality education or healthcare facilities in cities like Mumbai and Delhi. It attracts people from rural areas. Okay. Then comes political factors. Government policies have encouraged urbanization. For example, government smart city initiative, which aims to like create 100 smart cities across India, is expected to drive urbanization. So this is political factors. Then comes environmental factors. Natural disasters have driven people from rural to urban areas in search of safety and stability. For example, like in our coastal areas, uh, like uh, coming cyclone in, incidents of cyclone uh, periodically in our coastal part of the country, like Odisha in 2019. Then it also such cyclonic like storms or such regular cyclones, they also displace people regularly. There are some part of our country which are periodically subjected to like floods and droughts. For example, there are rivers like Kosi, Damodar. Okay, so these rivers they are causing floods every year in their catchment areas. So what is happening? Like people are being displaced annually. So that's why people in search of safety and stability, they also move towards urban cities. Okay. Then comes environmental factor. Environmental factor we already discussed. Then infrastructure development. You must have seen that in urban areas, the infrastructure is much better compared to our rural areas, like improved transportation and communication system, metro rail. So this improved transportation, like it makes it very easy for people to move from urban areas, and it also improves their quality of life in urban areas. Okay. Then comes demographic factors. So India's population has been growing rapidly in recent years. Like there is no need to mention it. Uh, India has become recently the most populous country in the world, the country having largest population, number one in population. So it also contributes to growth of urban areas, as more people they will seek out housing and other services which are not available in rural areas. Okay. Then all these factors, as I told you, can be classified into pull and push factor. Like what can be push factor? Rural poverty. Like push factor means these are the conditions which are prevalent in our rural areas, and these factors are pushing people away from rural areas in search of better life, better quality of life, safety, stability, jobs, and these are the different. So rural poverty and unemployment. This is also pushing people away from uh, rural areas to urban areas. Then lack of basic services and infrastructure in rural areas. Political instability and violence in rural areas. There are some areas like you can say this our left wing extremism areas in Chhattisgarh. So there is a lot of instability and violence. So that's why people are moving in search of stability and safety. Then environmental degradation and natural disaster in their native place, like we just discussed about the case of cyclone hitting coastal Odisha. Then limited economic opportunity in rural areas. This is also true. Then pull factors, better job opportunity in urban areas, higher wages and better living standard in urban areas, access to educational and healthcare in urban areas, greater social and cultural diversity in urban areas, access to technology and modern amenities in rural areas. So these are the factors. So hopefully I have discussed like in very detail the drivers of urbanization, and I hope this you are able to understand. Then comes to let us go into, there are some adverse impacts of urbanization. So what are those adverse impacts that we'll quickly go into? So again, the adverse impacts of urbanization. This can be also studied under disadvantages of urbanization. Okay. So before that, let us go into characteristics of urbanization. Urbanization often is also taking place without much industrialization with the growth of service sector. So development of infrastructure do not keep pace with the growth of cities. This is true. So there are like urban areas. They are characterized with these are the characteristics like what will you notice when you visit an urban area? You will notice pollution. Pollution is comparatively much more in urban areas compared to rural areas. So this can be called a characteristics of urbanization. Then increase in slums. Slums proliferation is one of the important like characteristics of urbanization. Poverty and unemployment, it is also there. And lack of proper hygiene. Yeah, lack of proper hygiene and sanitation. You'll find if you visit any slum areas, then possibility of contagious disease. Why this possibility? This possibility exists because lack of proper hygiene and lack of sanitation. Because the people living in slum areas, they are living in a very congested environment. Like okay, so that's why there is lack of proper hygiene and more possibility of contagious diseases. Then transport hazards is also there. Like there is transport hazards, housing problems. You can say there is lack of adequate housing in urban areas. Then lack of services like drinking water and sanitation. Often the water in urban areas, they are found polluted due to some leaking pipes. Often the drinking water pipes, they are often passed in close proximity to sewage pipe. And in case there is like rupture in sewage pipe and drinking water pipe, then what will happen? Like drinking water pipe, like water going through drinking water pipe, it will get contaminated with sewage water. So that's why there are chances of this possibility of these diseases. Then there is also considerable increase in crime rate as per this crime reports by NCRB, National Crime Records Bureau, every year. So there is also increasing crimes in urban areas, which are much more than rural areas. Then there is also labor exploitation or exploitation of some like unskilled people. Then increasing inequality is also very like it's very visible and very prevalent. Like on one side you will find that there are some high rise buildings, another side there is like slum. So it's very evident that there is inequality existing in urbanization or urban areas. Okay, then coming back to having discussed characteristics of urbanization, let us go into, there are some advantages of urbanization. So what are the advantages of urbanization? Number one, better living standard than in rural areas. This is self-explanatory. Then better access to civic amenities, health and cultural activities, and other conveniences. For example, like better schools, better hospitals, better access to civic amenities like parks, marriage hall, and better infrastructure, cultural activities. And there are some platform, there are some conveniences which are not easily available in rural areas, that also you'll get in movie theater for entertainment. And there are these are the like amenities which are not easily available in into rural areas. Then comes economic growth through investment, industrial location, trade and commerce, tourism. Then it also offers like better recreational lifestyles, leisure time, pastime, social life. compared to rural areas. Then it also provides for social integration as people with diverse cultural and background come uh, like uh, they interact, they communicate, they work and live in close proximity. So obviously, this the rural rigidity in terms of this caste and gender discrimination is diluted in urban areas. Then cities are knowledge hubs with quality academic institutions contributing needed human resource for national development. This is very important that there are some very good academic institutions located into urban areas. And so that's why we as a country that is aspiring for a knowledge economy, it's very important that uh, urbanization is urbanization being center of knowledge and being a center of development and skilling of our human resources. So it plays an important part. Then comes better transit and transport facilities to commute between places of living and work. So it also makes people life easier. It saves their time as well. Okay. Then next comes having discussed advantages of urbanization. Let us go into disadvantages of urbanization. Like what are the disadvantages of urbanization? Okay. Increase in urban population. It puts enormous pressure on physical spaces and services. This is very true that increasing urban population it will act as a burden and a strain on limited physical infrastructure or limited resources of the uh, urban areas. For example, we often hear about depletion of groundwater in rapid depletion of groundwater in some cities like Bangalore, Delhi, etc. Okay, so it basically due to increase in urban population, it puts a lot of pressure on this physical space as well. There are lack of affordable housing and lack of some services. Okay, then it also leads to overcrowding, and this is particularly so in developing countries. Overcrowding because uh, population is increasing and space is less, so it will lead to overcrowding. Then with increased for example in cities like Delhi and Mumbai, Dharabi, slum slum areas in Mumbai, which is considered like one of the largest slum of within the Asia continent. So these are the cities where we often witness that there is a lot of overcrowding due to increasing population and urbanization. Then with increased migration, housing becomes scarcer. Scarcer means it is inadequate, very less. Housing is less and people are more. So what will happen then? It will lead to serious housing shortage. Okay. Then in developing countries across the globe, more than 50% unemployed is live in towns and cities. This is also very important data. More than 50% unemployed people, they live in towns and cities. Okay. Then coming to there are some problems, adverse impacts of urbanization. There are social problems of urbanization that also we'll discuss. So let us first discuss about adverse impacts of urbanization. So what are some adverse impacts of urbanization? Impacts of urbanization can be both positive and negative. Okay. So adverse impacts of urbanization particularly means negative impacts of urbanization, right? So what are the adverse impacts of urbanization in India? This can be grouped into different heading like environmental degradation. Why environmental degradation? Due to increasing deforestation, there will be demand for more number of houses, as we just studied that yeah, people are more and houses are less, so there are already shortage of houses, and shortage of infrastructure. It will lead to cutting more number of trees, that is deforestation. Then increased pollution, like due to lack of proper this waste management. Often waste disposal is not very proper, so what will happen? It will lead to pollution, and this pollution can be in different type, like soil pollution, water pollution, and due to burning of some this uh, burning of this waste, it can also lead to air pollution. Like Delhi is considered the one of the most polluted cities across the world. Then comes overcrowding and strain on infrastructure. This is very true. Like cities in Mumbai and Delhi, they face shortage of affordable housing and inadequate public transport infrastructure. So overcrowding and strain on infrastructure is, I hope, is understood. Then comes loss of agriculture land. Like for instance, this if there is increase in urbanization, then in order to meet the demand of the urbanization and the demand of the growing number of people in urban areas, what will happen? We have to convert our fertile agriculture land into real estate. Okay, so there will be demand for more number of more houses. So what will happen? From where these houses will come? We have to again convert our agriculture land into real estate, and which is found in cities like Bangalore and Hyderabad, and it leads to reduction in agriculture production because now our agriculture land is shrinking. Okay, then comes displacement of rural residents. Urbanization can also lead to displacement of rural residents who are forced to leave their homes and communities to make way for urban development. This is very true because often there are some areas, there are some rural areas which are on the outskirts of some cities, from where those lands are being acquired by the government for different purpose, and these lands are often they are compelled to sell their land also, and they are compelled to move from there. Okay, so displacement of rural residents is also adverse impact of urbanization. Then comes inequalities in access to resources and services. Urbanization, it can in a way it can aggravate or exacerbate existing inequalities and access to resources and services. For example, slum dwellers in cities like Mumbai and Kolkata, they lack access to basic services. Then traffic congestion and poor air quality. This is as the number of vehicles increases, so the vehicular emission will also increase, right? So the traffic congestion and poor air quality in urban areas, it also increases. For example, cities like Delhi and Bengaluru, they are facing severe air pollution. Okay. Then last comes loss of biodiversity. Urbanization, it also leads to loss of biodiversity as natural habitats are destroyed and fragmented. For example, expansion of cities like Chennai and Pune, it led to destruction of natural habitats, and which is in turn causing loss of biodiversity. So these are the adverse impacts of urbanization, right? Now, having discussed adverse impacts of urbanization, we'll particularly go into some specific adverse impacts of urbanization, which is like social issues. What are the social problems of urbanization that we'll discuss, right? So let us discuss what are the social problems which are linked or associated with urbanization. Okay. So urbanization in India particularly has led to several social problems. Number one, social discrimination. As I already told you, there is increasing inequality in urban areas. People belonging to certain lower caste, religious minorities, and people from certain ethnic groups, they may face discrimination in housing, employment, and access to public services. So social discrimination can be like ghettoization. There is a term called like ghettoization of these communities. Then change in the family system. Urbanization has led to a change in the traditional family structure in India, as nuclear families have become more common, and there will be breakdown of joint families. Extended families become less. So this can lead to a lack of support for older adults and children, lack of support for this older aging parents, and lack of support for children. So this in a way can be called a lack of social capital, because that sense of community is also diminishing or declining in urban areas. Then called ghetto, ghettoization means urbanization has led to the formation of ghettos or segregated neighborhoods based on race, religion, and caste. For example, in many cities, people from lower caste and the poorer section of society, they are forced to live in overcrowded and poorly maintained slums like Dharavi in Mumbai. So it is also called ghetto. Ghettoization means segregation of neighborhoods, segregated neighborhoods, which is based on different identities. Then caste system. The caste system has led to discrimination and marginalization of certain groups, particularly lower caste. So urbanization has led to the migration of people from different castes to the cities. And this has led to the continuation of the caste system in the urban areas, which further exacerbate social inequality. Though, like, even though caste system may be diluted comparatively in urban areas compared to rural areas, but I think there is one more a different type of system, that is class inequality. Caste system, like, although it is still prevalent in urban areas, it might have been diluted. But I think there is another type of discriminatory practice, that is class identity, class system, that is also taking place with urbanization. Then comes social unrest and crime. So as we already discussed that crime rates are increasing in urban areas. So rapid urbanization, it also like led to increased crime and social unrest. Like in Delhi riots of 2020, we remember. Like, so this is also an important social problem associated with urbanization. Then comes gated communities. So urbanization also has led to the development of gated communities where only certain people, usually the wealthy ones, have access. So this can lead to lack of integration and understanding between different social groups, and can also aggravate the existing social inequality. Okay. Having discussed this, let us go into how urbanization in India is different. Urbanization in India is slightly different from urbanization in other part of the world. So, what are the some special characteristics of urbanization in India? Some India specific characteristics of urbanization. Okay, that we'll discuss. So, number one, it is rate of urbanization is much more rapid rate of urbanization, which is in line with rapid rate of our population. Then comes informal settlements. This is a significant part of India's urban population. They live in informal settlements, like I told you, slums, for example, Dharavi in Mumbai. And these informal settlements, they often lack basic infrastructure and services, and they are often marginalized and excluded from formal system. Okay. Then comes coexistence of ancient and modern cities. For example, cities like Jaipur, Haridwar, Varanasi, they have rich culture, heritage, and history, and that also coexist with the rapid development of modern cities like Mumbai, Bangalore, and Gurgaon. Then urbanization due to tertiary sector. This is a very unique feature of Indian urbanization, because unlike urbanization in other part, which is often accompanied by manufacturing and industrial development, Indian urbanization is unique because it is primarily driven by tertiary sector, due to growth in tertiary sector like communication, transport, IT services, construction, rather than the secondary sector, which is like manufacturing. Then geographical difference. Southern India is more like some part of the India is more urbanized than other part of the country. For example, urbanization in southern India is more compared to northern and eastern India, due to presence of there are some different factors, historical factors, socio-culture factors, educational factors. Okay. So then there are some government initiatives that also will quickly cover, There are some government initiatives related to urban development which you should be knowing. There is on this Jawaharlal Nehru National Urban Renewal Mission. It was launched in 2005 and it aims to provide this financial assistance for urban local bodies for development of infrastructure and services. The National Urban Transport Policy of 2006. This promotes sustainable and equitable urban transportation system. National Urban Housing and Habitat Policy 2007. It aims to provide affordable housing and improve living condition for urban residents. Then Deen Dayal Antyodaya Yojana, National Urban Livelihood Mission. It was launched in 2013 and its aim is to reduce poverty and vulnerability of urban poor households by providing them with opportunities for skill development and self-employment. Then comes Hriday scheme. It was launched in 2014. It stands for Heritage City Development and Augmentation Yojana. So the aim of this program is to conserve and revitalize the cultural heritage and tourism potential of 12 identified cities in India. Then comes Swachh Bharat Abhiyan. It was launched in 2014 and the aim of this program is to improve sanitation and cleanliness in urban areas, including construction of toilets and solid waste management. This is a very important part of this program. Then comes Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, launched in 2015. The aim of this program is to provide affordable housing to urban residents, particularly for low income groups and economically weaker sections. Then comes Smart Cities Mission. It was also launched in 2015. It aims to promote development of 100 smart cities in India, focusing on sustainable and inclusive urban development. Then comes Amrut Mission, Amrut Atal Mission for Rejuvenation and Urban Transformation, launched in 2015. This mission aims to improve basic services and infrastructure in urban areas, including water supply and sewage system. Okay. Then now the next is way ahead. Having discussed the what are the features of urbanization, what are the issues and problems of urbanization, what are the adverse impacts and even social problems of urbanization, and having discussed some government initiatives regarding urbanization, now let us go into what are the some way ahead. What a way ahead means what can be done, what are some other initiatives which can be suggested to address the problems which we are facing due to urbanization in India. So, there are several way ahead, several suggestions. Number one, solid waste management. So, why do we require it? Generation of waste is much more in urban area, and setting up and operating waste to energy plants and promoting recycling and composting of solid waste is very very important, which has also been recognized by Niti Aayog. Okay. Then National Urban Development Authority (NUDA), establishing a National Urban Development Authority. It will develop to monitor urban development at national level rather than this fragmented development of urban areas. There should be a National Urban Development Authority for integrated and holistic uh, development of sustainable urbanization. Okay. Then comes sustainable transportation. Like urbanization cannot be sustained, like sustainable urbanization is not possible without sustainable transportation. Okay. So developing sustainable transportation is equally important to reduce traffic congestion and air pollution. Then coordination and collaboration, this is very important. Coordination and collaboration among different levels of government and between the government and private sector to address the complex challenges of urbanization. Then public private partnership, encouraging private sector investment in infrastructure, housing, and other urban development projects, and creating a conducive environment for public private partnership through policy and legal reforms. This is also a very important suggestion. Then comes affordable housing, promoting mixed income housing or like private sector participation in terms of PPP basis for affordable housing is another important areas which can be looked into. Then comes green spaces and parks, like promoting green spaces and parks to improve air and water quality and provide public recreational areas. This is also very important. Then coming back to, there are some successful examples of sustainable and planned urbanization in India. Like one is Chandigarh model. Chandigarh is known for its like planned urbanization or very well planned urban design and efficient public transportation system. And like this has helped it to reduce congestion, and it also improves quality of life of urban resident. Then comes Indore. Indore is very famous for its like waste management initiative. It is often ranked number one in India among the cities in Swachh Bharat, this assessment. So Indore has implemented a number of programs to improve the collection and disposal of waste. Hence, Indore has topped the Swachh Sarvekshan Awards for the sixth time in 2022. So this is very important. Then, having discussed that, there are some terminology which will quickly go into. Like one is called census town. What is census town? A population of at least 5,000 people, a population density of at least 400 per square kilometer, where at least 75% of the male working population is engaged in non-agriculture activities, non-agriculture pursuit. This is exactly what does meaning of urban town according to census 1971. So like the town which is considered urban areas as per census is called census town, and these are the three different criteria which we already discussed. Okay. Then called statutory town. So a town officially designed as such by the relevant state government. A statutory town is uh, designed or announced by state government. Okay. They have a corporation or municipality in charge of the local government. Then comes satellite town, a town that is located in close proximity to a larger urban center and is dependent on it for economic and social activity. It is called satellite town. Okay. Then comes urban agglomeration, a continuous urban area of the city, town, and also the suburban fringe rural areas lying within the administrative boundaries of a nearby town city is called urban agglomeration. Okay. Then comes outgrowth, a small settlement which is adjacent to a large town or city that has grown out of it. But it is still considered a separate entity by the government for administrative purpose. It is called outgrowth. Then over urbanization. It refers to urbanization where the urban areas are excessively developed and the natural resources are overutilized. That is called over urbanization. This is like self-explanatory. Then suburbanization, it refers to the process of urbanization where the urban areas are growing outwards and the rural areas are becoming urbanized. This is called suburbanization. Then counter-urbanization refers to movement of people and businesses from urban to rural areas, right? So there are some important terms. Apart from that, there is cantonment board, a geographical area and a civic administrative body in India. Another control of it is Defense Ministry. This you should remember that cantonment board is under the control of Defense Ministry. Okay. Then comes census town. This we already discussed. Then city towns with a population of 1 lakh and above is called city, right? In India. Then greater like used to denote a metropolitan area such as Greater Hyderabad, Greater Municipality, or Greater Warangal. Okay. Then comes industrial town, towns and cities where the economy is based on industry is called industrial town. Okay. The level of urbanization, percentage of urbanization population to total population in the indicated area is called level of urbanization. Mega city, towns and urban agglomerations with a population of 10 million and above, they are called mega city. Metropolitan city, a city with a population of a million or more, is called metropolitan city. Million plus cities, cities and urban agglomeration with a population of 1 million and above is called million plus cities. Okay, so with this we'll end with the today class. And today like we have covered unit 1 of this urban governance. Okay, so that is all. In case you have any doubt, you can ask me in chats, or if you don't have any doubt, then we'll meet again for our next class. Okay, thank you everyone. Good day.